All right, let's talk. Really talk. I want you to listen to me for a minute. There's a little voice that sometimes pops up in your head, isn't there? It's that sneaky little voice that whispers things when you're about to try something new, something big, something that could change your life for the better. It says things like, you can't do that, or who do you think you are? Or you're going to fail, and everyone's going to see it. That voice, let me tell you something right now, is the biggest liar you will ever meet. It's a dream killer. It's a joy stealer. And it has absolutely no idea what you're truly capable of. You gotta learn to recognize that voice for what it is. Just noise. That voice feeds on fear. It gets stronger every time you listen to it. Every time you decide not to raise your hand in class, not to apply for that job, not to talk to that person you're interested in, you're feeding that monster. You're telling it, you're right. But I'm here today, on this day, August 14th, 2025, to tell you that you have the power to starve that voice. You can turn down the volume on that negativity until it's nothing but a faint, pathetic squeak. It's not about never feeling doubt again. Even the most successful people in the world feel doubt. The secret is learning not to let that doubt drive the car. You let it sit in the back seat where it belongs. Let me take you back. A long time ago, before the TV shows, before the suits, before any of this, I was just a young man with a dream. I wanted to be a comedian. I knew I was funny. My friends thought I was funny. My family thought I was funny. But there's a big difference between making your buddies laugh and standing on a stage under a single spotlight in front of a room full of strangers who paid money to be entertained. The first time I ever signed up for an amateur night at a comedy club, that voice of doubt wasn't whispering. It was screaming at me. It was a full-blown concert of negativity in my head. I remember standing backstage waiting for my name to be called. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it was going to bust right out of my chest. My palms were sweating, my knees were shaking. The voice was telling me, Steve, turn around right now, go home. You're going to get up there and nobody is going to laugh. You're going to hear crickets. They're going to boo you off the stage. You're going to make a fool of yourself. Every part of me wanted to run. It would have been the easiest thing in the world to just walk out the back door and pretend it never happened. Nobody would have known but me. But that was the problem, you see. I would have known. In that moment, something else kicked in. It was a different voice, a quieter one, but it was there. It was the voice of my dream. It was the voice that said, but what if they do laugh? What if this is your shot? What if this is the first step to everything you've ever wanted? I had to make a choice right then and there. Which voice was I going to listen to? Was I going to listen to the fear of failure, or was I going to listen to the hope of success? I took a deep breath, I pushed all that doubt down, and I made a deal with myself. I said, Steve, just walk out there, just try. If you fail, you fail. But you will not fail from back here. So when the host called my name, I walked out onto that stage. And you know what? It wasn't perfect. I stumbled over a few words, but then I told my first joke, and I heard a chuckle. Then another one. And then a big rolling laugh filled the whole room. It was like music. In that moment, the voice of doubt went completely silent. It had no power in the face of actual evidence. I proved it wrong. I walked off that stage a different man than the one who had walked on. I had faced the giant of doubt and discovered it wasn't so giant after all. That night taught me a lesson I have never forgotten. Your faith in yourself has to be greater than your fear of failure. Now you might be thinking, that's a nice story, Steve, but what does that have to do with me? I'm not trying to be a comedian. Listen to me, it has everything to do with you. Believing in yourself is not just for people who want to be on a stage, it's the foundation for everything you will ever do in your life. It is your first job, and it's the most important one you'll ever have. You cannot expect a boss to believe in you, a teacher to believe in you, or a partner to believe in you if you don't first believe in yourself. You set the price tag. If you value yourself at a discount, that's all anyone else will ever be willing to pay. Think about it. Confidence is the fuel for action. Doubt is the brake. When you believe you can do something, you're more likely to put in the work. You're more likely to study harder for that test, to practice longer for that game, to prepare more for that interview. Self-belief gives you resilience. When you hit a setback, and trust me, you will hit setbacks, because life is full of them. Confidence is what allows you to see it as a temporary detour, not a dead end. It's the voice that says, okay, that didn't work, let's try another way. A person without self-belief hits that same setback and says, I knew it, I'm a failure, and they just stop trying. Your happiness is tied directly to your self-belief. When you doubt yourself constantly, you live in a state of anxiety and fear. You're always worried about what other people think. You're always comparing yourself to others and feeling like you come up short. That is a miserable way to live. But when you have a strong sense of self-worth, you find freedom. You're free to be your authentic self. You're free to pursue what makes you happy, not what you think will impress other people. You find peace not in being perfect, but in being perfectly you, with all your strengths and all your flaws. That's where real, lasting joy comes from. So don't you see? This isn't some fluffy, feel-good idea. This is practical. This is essential. Your belief in yourself determines the size of the goals you set. It determines the energy you bring to your tasks. It determines how you handle adversity. It determines the quality of your relationships. It determines your overall level of happiness and fulfillment in life. Everything, and I mean everything, that you want to achieve starts with that one fundamental building block. The unwavering, unshakable belief that you are worthy, you are capable, and you have what it takes. Without it, you're trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of sand. It just won't work. Too many of you are walking around playing a low-light reel in your head. You know what I'm talking about. You remember every mistake you've ever made. You remember that time you said the wrong thing, that test you failed, that tryout you didn't make. You play these moments over and over again, and each time you do, you convince yourself a little more that you're not good enough. You're focusing on all the times you struck out, and you're completely ignoring all the times you hit the ball. Well, today, we are changing the channel. We're going to stop watching the bloopers and start watching the highlights. I want you to take a real, honest look at your life. I want you to think about your wins. And I don't just mean the big trophy-winning moments, I mean all of them. Did you pass a math class that you thought was impossible? That's a win. Put it on the reel. Did you learn how to cook a new meal for your family? That's a win. Put it on the reel. Did you make a friend laugh when they were having a bad day? That is a huge win. Put it on the reel. Did you get out of bed this morning when you felt like staying under the covers? Win, reel. We dismiss these small victories, but they are the bricks that build the house of confidence. Your strengths are not accidents. They are part of your design. Maybe you're a great listener. Maybe you're incredibly patient. Maybe you can draw, or you're good with numbers, or you have a knack for making people feel comfortable. These are your superpowers, but if you don't acknowledge them, it's like having a superhero suit hanging in your closet that you never wear. You have to recognize what you're good at. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Your journey is your journey. Your strengths are your strengths. Own them. Celebrate them. Write them down if you have to. So here's your assignment. I want you to become the director of your own highlight reel. Whenever that voice of doubt starts playing the old tired blooper reel, I want you to consciously switch the channel. I want you to say, nope, we're not watching that today. And then you start playing your highlights. Remind yourself of the time you were brave. Remind yourself of the time you were kind. Remind yourself of the time you worked hard and succeeded. The more you watch this highlight reel, the more you will start to believe in the star of the show, which, in case you were wondering, is you. All right, now we get to the good stuff, the how-to. Talk is great, but action is what changes things. I'm going to give you 3 simple, practical steps you can start doing today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. The first step is this. Start your day with a win. The very first hour of your day sets the tone for the next 23. If you start your day by losing a battle with your snooze button, rolling out of bed late, and rushing around in a panic, you've already started the day from a position of weakness. You've told yourself that you're not in control. We have to flip that script. Here's what I mean by a win. I mean doing something small, simple, and productive before the world has a chance to throw its chaos at you. The easiest win on the planet: make your bed. I know, your mama told you to do it, and you thought it was just a chore. It's not. It's a statement. When you make your bed first thing in the morning, you have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. It's a tiny act of discipline that proves to yourself that you can, and you will, get things done. This first hour victory doesn't have to stop with making your bed. It can be anything that makes you feel powerful and in control. Maybe it's doing 10 push-ups. Maybe it's stretching for 5 minutes. Maybe it's reading 2 pages of an inspiring book. Maybe it's writing down one thing you're grateful for. The key is that it has to be intentional. You are choosing to do something positive for yourself before you check your phone, before you look at social media, before you let the negativity of the world seep into your brain. You are building a fortress of confidence around you, one small, positive action at a time. The second step is just as important, and it's all about the conversation you have between your own two ears. You have to start talking to yourself like a champion. Let me ask you this. If you had a friend who was constantly putting you down, telling you that you're not smart enough, not good looking enough, not talented enough, how long would that person be your friend? Not very long, I hope. You'd cut them off. So why in the world do you allow yourself to talk to yourself that way? You are with yourself 24/7. That inner voice is either your greatest cheerleader or your greatest bully. You get to decide which one it is. I want you to start catching yourself when you say negative things. When you make a mistake and your first thought is, I'm so stupid. I want you to stop right there. Literally, stop. And then I want you to correct it. Say out loud if you have to, no, I am not stupid. I made a mistake and I learned from it. I'll do better next time. You have to reframe the narrative. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are the person who is learning and growing from those experiences. Treat yourself with the same kindness and encouragement you would offer to your best friend. This is where affirmations come in. Now, some people think this is cheesy stuff, but let me tell you, the most successful people in the world do this. An affirmation is just a simple, positive statement that you repeat to yourself. It's about programming your mind for success. Find a statement that works for you. It could be, I am capable and strong. It could be, I believe in my ability to succeed. It could be, I am worthy of all the good things that come my way. Say it in the mirror in the morning. Say it in the car on the way to school or work. Say it before you walk into a big meeting. You have to understand that your subconscious mind believes what it hears the most. If you are constantly feeding it a diet of doubt and negativity, that is what it will believe to be true. It will then work to make that your reality by sabotaging your efforts. But if you constantly feed it a diet of confidence, positivity, and self-belief, it will accept that as the truth. It will then work to make that your reality by helping you find opportunities, giving you strength, and pushing you toward your goals. So be the guardian of your mind. Don't let negative thoughts set up camp there. Talk to yourself like the winner you were born to be. So here we are. We've talked about that lying voice of doubt. We've talked about how you have to face your fears, just like I did on that comedy stage. We've talked about why believing in yourself is the most important job you'll ever have. And I've given you two powerful, simple steps to start building that belief. Start your day with a win and talk to yourself like a champion. Now, I told you this was about 7 minutes to self-belief. That's because real change doesn't take a lifetime to start. It takes a moment, it takes a decision, it takes about 7 minutes to read this and decide you're done playing small. The third and final step is this. Take one small action right now toward a goal. I don't care how small it is. If you want to get in shape, don't worry about the marathon tomorrow. Just do 5 sit-ups right now. If you want to write a book, don't think about the whole novel. Just open a document and write 1 sentence. If you want to get a better job, don't get overwhelmed by the whole process. Just spend 5 minutes looking up one company you admire. Action is the enemy of doubt. When you are moving, fear can't keep up. This tiny step proves to yourself that you are not just a dreamer, you are a doer. Your potential is a gift. It's a gift from God, from the universe, whatever you believe in. It was given to you for a reason. To let that potential go to waste because you are too scared to try is the biggest tragedy there is. You have to jump. I'm telling you, you have to jump. Your parachute is not going to open when you're standing on the edge of the cliff. It only opens after you've jumped. You have to take that leap of faith, believing that you have what it takes to fly. And that faith starts with these small daily practices of building yourself up. So your 7 minutes are up. The clock is ticking. What are you going to do with this moment? Are you going to close this page and go right back to listening to that lying voice of doubt? Or are you going to stand up right now and take that first step? Are you going to make your bed? Are you going to say your affirmation? Are you going to take that one small action? The choice is yours. No one can do it for you. Your future self, the one who is living your dreams, is begging you to believe. Don't let them down. Start today. Start right now. Your journey to unshakable confidence has already begun. Now go out there and be great.